10 seconds. Five. And go.
This council meeting is called to order in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Law. This meeting at August 15, 2022 was included in the list of meetings published in the Courier News and Star Ledger. A notice of this meeting was placed on the bulletin board at Borough Hall. In addition, a copy of this notice is available to the public. A copy of the statement shall be included in the minutes of this meeting. Mayor Dennis Sullivan is excused this evening. Council members, Granville Brady.
Here.
Tom Mitchell.
Here.
Gina Stravic.
Here.
Roger Vroom is excused this evening. Fred Weed is excused this evening. Randy Pitts.
Here. Please stand and join me with the speaker.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have approval of minutes August 1st. So moved.
Second.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
and Randy Pitts.
Yes. Departmental reports and notices.
We have to approve that of the executive session, do we do that?
Yes.
We skipped over the executive.
Okay.
You don't have it. Yep.
No problem.
So reports are listed. Committee reports. Councilman Granville Brady.
Thank you, Your Honor. I keep it very brief tonight. We're having some work done on the sister streets, Lee, Lori, and Lisa, as well as Reimer. They will be torn up this week as they're going to mill the streets. And next week they're going to be repaved, so if anyone in the audience or on television wishes to come into those neighborhoods, they'll have to park off-site. You can park on Wee Hill, you can park on some of the adjoining streets, but those streets are off limits probably for the next 2 weeks. And that's my report.
Thank you. Councilman.
Environmental Commission. The Environmental Commission met last Tuesday. They're maintaining several of the projects they have going on. Street tree planting. If anyone wants a street tree, now's the time to get your order in. The other community garden project is ongoing. They're in the process of planning for October 10th the planting of the Salem oak in collaboration with the Wallace House. So it'll be in Somerville, but on state property. A great way to recognize the 500, 600-year-old Salem oak seedling that we've received. So there'll be a full event, more to come. Thank you.
Councilman Tom Mitchell.
Yes. Newark Penn Station will undergo major renovations as part of a $191 million restoration plan that was announced by Governor Phil Murphy. And a $1 billion improvement plan for the PATH commuter line has been recognized by the American Public Transit Association. This program is already accommodating 9-car trains at stations on the Newark World Trade Center line and has updated the Exchange Place station in Jersey City with longer platforms and an added passenger connection between Newark and New York bound platforms. That's it.
Thank you. We'd like to open the meeting to the public.
You need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
and Randy Pitts.
Yes. Do we have anyone from the audience?
Yes, my name is Amanda Rivers.
You can come up front, please.
Beg your pardon?
You can come up front to the mic, please. Thanks.
Rivers, I need your address, please.
I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
My name is Amanda Rivers, 153 Hamilton Street, Somerville, New Jersey. I have a concern of the paving on Hamilton and Southside Avenue. We were promised 2 years ago that the roads and the potholes would be repaired. But here it is 2022 and they're not repaired yet. And my second question is the railroad station. There's going to be a restaurant there, and where will you be able to pick up passengers? because they won't let you park there, the restaurant.
I can answer that.
Sure.
When the project is finished, there'll be parking in front of the station entrance and around where, you're talking about a restaurant?
Yeah, the restaurant,
On Veterans Memorial?
yes.
There'll be parking there or in the deck across the street on Vets. There's a parking deck right opposite the old station on Veterans Memorial Drive. It belongs to the 50 Division Street building. They've made arrangements to the owner. That the restaurant is really designed for takeout, not for sit-down dining.
Well, I asked the owner the other day, will you be able to park there when the restaurant opened, and he told me no.
He has approval to park there, but because there's commuter parking coming and going, he's made arrangements across the street. So I think he gave you a little bit of incorrect information there.
So the people at the restaurant have to park across the street?
People who frequent or patronize the restaurant, because there's a planning board or there's a zoning required for X amount of vehicles, if they can't provide it on site, they have to make arrangements off site, and they've made arrangements with the owner of the deck across the street.
So are there designated spots for commuters?
No, but at the times that it will be open, we're not talking about commuters, we're talking about people using the restaurant. New Jersey Transit is building a 500 space deck for commuters.
She's talking about picking someone up, aren't you?
Picking up.
No, they'll be able to do that where you do it now, around either the front on Vets, or you'll be able to do it from the development that's under construction. There'll be a big plaza there, and you'll be able to pick up people there. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought that
Yeah,
was
man,
that
you
page.
could pull into Paul Robeson, which is the street that is named for that particular development. And if you pull in there and to the right, there'll be a lot of area for people to park, pick up passengers and what have you. It's considerably safer than trying to queue up on Veterans Memorial. And people that exit the train can just come out either from the underground or right at that level, and people can be picked up at that point. Also, theoretically, I imagine taxi cabs will be there and what have you.
And what about the paving of the roads?
We'll have DPW look into that.
Beg pardon?
We'll have DPW look into
They
that.
told me that 2 years ago.
Well, I mean, we do utilize an evaluation system. Ms. Rivers, I don't exactly recall the paving on Hamilton. But as council president, we'll look at it and we'll have to get back to you on
Oh, the potholes are terrible. And it's been like that for 2 years.
that. Well, I mean, we certainly could, I mean, it's 2 blocks away from our DPW. So it's not gonna take much of an effort to go and make sure those holes are safer.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah.
Mateo Garcia, 171 Mercer Street. Council President, thank you. I'd like to first thank this governing body for the work that's been done with the rumble strips on the roads coming off of 22. I know that the town has received a lot of, before they were installed, received a lot of feedback from members in the town about concerns with the cars coming off of 22 and how fast they are coming in. I know that I've spoken numerous times in this body, and I want to thank the town council, Mr. Sluka, and everyone else involved to get the rumble strips down. It really does make a difference. It shows that the town is concerned about the well-being of its citizens, the safety of pedestrians, and the town is listening to its constituents. And it really is a great example that highlights how stuff gets done in the town. At the same time, I also want to thank the town for starting the construction of the basketball court, or the renovation of the basketball court on Mercer Street. There was a post that was put on Instagram and on social media advertising that it would start today, August 15th. It did not. I'm hoping that there are no other delays and that the basketball court can be repaired. But I'd also like to thank this governing body for listening again to constituents and taking this up into account. You know, it's really good when a town council and its mayor listens to the constituents for certain quality of life issues. There was a prior speaker who noted certain things about the sidewalk, and that's something I wanted to comment about today. This summer I've had the opportunity to walk a lot through town, and it's a wonderful town to walk in, but I think that Somerville can always improve in terms of walkability. And to that end, one of the areas that we should really be focusing on is making sure that all of our sidewalks are accessible. Not so much only so that it's safe, but I also imagine that we want to be a town that's inclusive to the needs of others with disabilities, such as wheelchairs or walkers or the elderly who are unable to walk or trespass through perhaps certain passages of sidewalks that are too treacherous. In particular, for example, I'm thinking of the stretch of sidewalk that runs, I believe that's Green Street, wherever the YMCA is. There's a long stretch of sidewalk that's very much in disrepair. I also think a lot about the sidewalks on Cliff Street that are across the street from the middle school. School season is going to be starting, kids will be walking, and we want to make sure that our sidewalks are safe. And not only will kids be walking, but parents and elderly folks perhaps who will accompany them. But just in general, as a call to town to take up the issue of sidewalks seriously, because we want to encourage walkability. One of the most beautiful things of living in a town is that we don't have to drive around to certain places, we can walk. And so in much in the same vein that I've asked for rumble strips or for repairs of the basketball courts, I also asked this governing body to please put an emphasis on the use of sidewalks and their repair to make sure that they're even and that they're in good condition for those with disabilities or the elderly, and also just anyone in general who wishes to walk. Along the lines of sidewalk and the use of our town and how we can make most use of our spaces, I'd also like to encourage this governing body to reassess the needs of our parks. Not that we need to redo our parks or anything major like that, but we have a great amount of space in this town that we can enjoy for leisurely activities. But we also want to make sure that these open spaces meet the needs or the demands or even just the wants of our citizens. You know, I saw the other day a lot of people playing volleyball. What if we install volleyball courts, right? There's that park in front of the YMCA where there's like a bocce ball thing, but no one ever uses it. I don't even know if people in town know how to play the sport, but perhaps if we can repurpose the land that we have for uses that the town wants, it would really show a town that's responsive to the wants and needs of the town. And so I would recommend that this body really look into making sure that our parks are spaces that are used and not just there for decoration or adornment or to say that we have them, but that they're being utilized. Because ultimately it also provides a safe space for people to be in. It provides a place of recreation and leisure, and it's something that's very healthy overall for our community. So I really encourage this town to please take a look at certain lands that we have, our open lands, our parks, and to really make use of them and to reassess what we can do and get input from the community. I'm sure that the community would love to get feedback and say, yes, we want more soccer fields or cricket. We have a large Indian American population in town, and many people use our baseball fields for cricket. It wouldn't hurt to have one field go to cricket, or perhaps expanding the soccer fields, right? In acknowledgement of the fact that soccer is a growing sport, or whatever sport is out there. But we should have something that meets the needs of the town. And lastly, along the lines of meeting the needs of the town and what the population may want, I always love bringing friends to Somerville, showing them the downtown. I love having them buy from our restaurants and our stores and having them spend in Somerville. And walking along Division Street, they loved it. They loved the pedestrian walkway. But one thing that my company encouraged, and I think is true, they asked for more seating spaces, more open tables, just places where people in town can sit and read a newspaper or drink their coffee. Not that they necessarily have to be a patron of a certain business, but that they could just walk and find a place to relax and sit down. And I think that the Downtown Somerville Alliance installed certain seats, which are kind of funky looking, and I think that kind of does solve an issue, but it's not a communal space such as a table. It's something minor, but it adds, again, another element of using our open spaces to encourage people to come out, to sit outside, to meet, and to really make this place a town. This isn't a bedroom community any longer. This is a town where people can grow and enjoy their Sunday evenings or evenings in the weekday, anytime, to walk around and enjoy the streets and the sounds of Somerville. And so I know you guys love this town as much as I do, right? I know that you guys like to walk through this town as much as I do. I know you guys like to enjoy the shops in this town as much as I do. And so I suppose just being a little bit more attuned to the needs of the town and the wants and getting some of that stuff put into place. But as I started at the beginning, a lot of gratitude to this body for getting stuff done. And thank you for taking care of some of these projects on Mercer Street. I yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just so Mateo's aware and Randy's aware, as the councilman's aware, the DSA just started an capital infrastructure study. We hired a consultant that we're working with to look at seating, the proper seating, those types of things that are important to downtown. So that just occurred maybe 2 meetings ago with the DSA.
I had a question and a comment. Some of the streets that you mentioned, I don't think are the town's responsibility to repair, right? Homeowner street, sidewalks.
Yeah, sidewalks are the property owner's responsibility, and it's kind of a complaint-driven situation because, if we get complaints, we put the owner on notice, and the owner has 2 options. One is they could use our assessment program and get on a list to get their sidewalks repaired at a cost, or they could do it on their own.
Could we maybe communicate with homeowners as a way to encourage them? I don't think anything has to be retaliatory or wait for a complaint, but perhaps if the town does proactive communication and reaches out and in a kind and encouraging way, say, hey, it's fall season, right? Or by next summer, let's try to have this repaired or whatever. But I think it's a good way to also get buy-in from the homeowners and to say, look, we as a town, we care, and we don't have to wait until something is derelict or has to be punitive. We could also be proactive in that sense. And I don't know, it's just, I believe we have a communications officer now in Somerville, or someone responsible for communication. That's something that could easily be conveyed in a kindly written letter that doesn't perhaps legally entangle us to commit to anything or forego or waive any of our rights and responsibilities as a town. But I think that's something that can be encouraged. That's a great point. I don't know what is town-owned and what is homeowner-driven, but if someone's walking, they might say, well, Somerville has bad sidewalks, not the homeowner has bad sidewalks. And I think as a town, we can really step up and encourage these homeowners and establish a dialogue. I don't even know if they have knowledge or awareness of this assessment program.
Well, a lot of times insurance companies will make you do it, but there used to be, I think at one time, Kevin, I haven't heard anything in a long time about this, but some kind of like a shared program, like a discount or the sidewalk.
Yeah, that's a sidewalk assessment. So we do bid out private sidewalks. So the way it works is you get on a list. We try to get as many, because again, it's economies of scale. So if you do 1 or 2, it doesn't help you. If we're doing 15 or 20, I think we do 12. We've been doing about 12 in a batch, and then we do it that way. And usually, there's been cases, not always, but usually we'll get a better value for that cost. And then the homeowner actually, up to, I believe, $2,500 they pay, and if it's more than that, they could finance it through the borough.
Yes, I used that program a few years ago.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So to your point, maybe that's something we could promote.
Sure.
Yeah, and 2023 could be the year we repair our sidewalks, Somerville sidewalks. And
And
encourage
it's
people.
cheaper it was cheaper for me to go that route rather than do it privately.
Yeah, it's more affordable, but it's also better if more people buy in. So if we communicate this, and rather than go one by one homeowner and perhaps encourage certain blocks.
We would never do it once, and unless there's 12 people in, we wouldn't be bidding it, so we wouldn't see the economies of scale.
Okay, at this time, I don't think we have anyone else. I'd like to close the public session.
So move. Second.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
and Randy Pitts.
Yes. We have consent resolutions. Anyone?
Yes, number 263, I believe it is, and 267.
And 264 for me.
Okay, 259, approving Oktoberfest and road closures on North Bridge Street between Main Street and High Street on Saturday, October 1st, from noon to 10 p.m. 260, resolution appointment of interim municipal court administrator, Jenny Peterson, July 18th, ending July 17th, 2023. 261, approving tax sale costs 2022. 262, approving the hiring of James, San Severino as driver laborer for DPW. 265, authorizing the administrator to engage the services of Denker to assist in furniture solutions for the Somerville Civic Center. 266, authorizing the hanging of pink bows on the trees located at the Borough Hall property for Breast Cancer Awareness Month for the month of October. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Council members Granville Brady.
Yes.
Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes. Tom, 263.
Okay, yes. Authorizing the sale of certain land and property. And it says in the description that it's listed in attachment A. It didn't have attachment A. Could you explain
I
what
handed it out before the meeting.
Oh, that explains what this is.
It's not available to the public.
It's one property, it's listed as 106, yes, it is available. It's all 106 Veterans Memorial Drive.
Yeah, actually, I did have the address because it was into it. It's in,
It's that one family house next to the sheet metal places, but that's been dilapidated for a good 15 years that I've been here.
was this taken over in the tax?
Jeremy performed the foreclosure and we finally own it.
And then we'll have it, somebody will buy it, tear it down and build something hopefully, right?
And start paying taxes.
And start paying taxes. Okay.
Well, I hope they start
So
paying tax.
263 and 267 go together, right?
That's correct.
But that's an auction, not correct? So
Yeah.
So
We have to
I
sell it by any commercially reasonable means, such as an auction.
will move till we pass 263 and 267.
Any second to those?
I second.
Council members Granville Brady.
Yes.
Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes. And 264.
Yeah, I just had a question on the Complete Street Committee. Are they an active committee, and can we be provided a list of these committee members?
It's not an active committee, so it's a committee that it's appointed annually. It's been used for the purpose of grants and to meet certain requirements that we have a complete street. When I say they're not active, as far as I know, they're not meeting regularly. That's my understanding. I don't attend their meetings, but I don't see minutes from the meetings. I don't think they actively meet. They meet pretty much as needed, I guess.
Need a motion? Is that just a motion?
Yeah, I guess we can take up the rest later, but
Sure.
I'd like to find out the committee and see if there's a parallel with the environmental commission to work with them.
Absolutely. Did I have a second? I'm sorry.
We need a second. I'll second.
Who provided the
I
first?
thought
I thought I did the first.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait.
Okay, we need a
Second.
It goes a lot
Thank you.
quicker that way.
Council members Granville Brady.
Yes.
Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes. Bills and vouchers.
Moving right along, Your Honor, thank you very much. I move the payment of bills and vouchers in the amount of, hold on to your seats, folks, $8,519,471.08, and that is my motion.
Second,
Council members Granville Brady.
Yes.
Tom Mitchell.
yeah.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes. Tom.
And I will move for adjournment.
Need a
All those in favor?
Need a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Randy, 25 minutes. Okay.